Hey,
And I'm
I'm
Gibby.
Lex.
Okay.
What are you doing? Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Gibby, and welcome to another episode of Porch Swing People.
Each week, a guest joins us on the porch to share their story. Sometimes it's light, sometimes it's deep, but it is always a good time. Hey, listeners, we have some fun news to share. We have been exclusively on Spotify, but have just uploaded all of our episodes to YouTube. So we are now streaming on YouTube as well. You can find all of our episodes on Porch Swing People on both Spotify and YouTube. Check us out.
Right on. That's good news. Hey, Lex, can you tell us about our guest this morning?
Yeah, so this morning we have Lee for our first episode of our next set of 25 EPs. We just recapped our first 25, starting with episode 1, Aaron, and we thought, what could be better than having our next first episode be with his wife, Lee? So we are bringing her onto the porch today.
Spell L-E-E.
Thank you for that. That's the episode name, but okay.
That was a thing in episode 1, if you guys recall.
Well, should we bring Lee on?
Copy that.
Hi.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Of course. Thanks for
Man,
having
it's been a long
me.
time since we've seen each other.
I know. What's it been, like 4 days?
I think it was like 8.
Yeah.
6.
That's right.
We seen each other last weekend. I was talking to your beau this morning.
Yeah.
I told him that today was Sunday. He's like, wait, I've been gone for over a week? And I'm like, you've been gone over a week because we showed up in the mountains, I think, last Friday, a week from Friday.
That's right. Yeah. I flew in last Friday, flew out as demanded last Sunday. And Lex, I have a 2-day maximum for camping.
For your personal self?
Yes, for my personal self. Yeah. That's when it
Makes sense. I like that.
Yeah. That's how long I can go. Yeah.
Hey, Lex, though, it was glamping, not camping. So 2 days of glamping.
It was not glamping. Luckily with the group, I could have kept going. The group was fantastic. I just was out of like resources. I needed a shower in my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The major resources. You were awesome. You were so fun. And guess what Lee did? Despite her, what would be the term? She was not going to get on a horse, but she did.
Oh, doctors are. I have a bad back, and that I've been treating, like everybody else, right? But my brothers and my sister-in-law are doctors, and we had just all been together. And my brother told my husband, "Do not let her get on a horse." And so what I heard was get on a horse. Yeah. I was like, I'm not going. It's dumb. I'm going to hurt myself. And then last day I was like, okay, I'm getting on a horse.
Here's the funny part.
Yourself?
No, it was so fun.
Good.
Yeah.
The funny part was as I was sitting with Aaron.
Yeah.
And he didn't know. And he was.
Oh, he did. I just did it, didn't I?
Yeah.
You
He's
just
just
jumped on
set
a
up
horse?
like this, and he's like, "Oh man, dude, I'm in so much trouble." And then she's gone, and we're just doing our thing. And then they came in hot. They weren't just walking.
We came in galloping.
And he was like, "Oh gosh, I'm so screwed."
When my husband first met me, my it's a long funny story, but the end of the story was I had gotten hurt, and my mom, before Aaron had ever met him, said, put Aaron on the phone, and she said, "Aaron, I'm Marion, and I just want to let you know that in no way, shape, or form would I ever hold you responsible for any choices that my daughter makes." So you can take that off the table. It's never your fault. It's never your fault. Yeah.
That must have been a big relief for him.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I
don't know if he believes it because
I don't think so.
Yeah, because he was like, "I'm in so much trouble."
No, he's never in trouble. It's always me. It's always me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that sounds like an awesome time. So thanks for being on the podcast this morning. Do you have any questions?
I do. My dog, and I cannot control this, is on the outside of my bedroom door whining. Can you hear him?
Yeah. That's okay.
can
But
hear
that's
him?
all right. Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
you
I'm
can
so
let him in.
sorry.
Bring
You
your
can
dog
let him
in.
in, or you
The
can.
reason I don't
I
want
have
to
my
bring him
dog
in
in
because
here.
he's going to bark. I'm
Okay.
afraid he's going to bark. Well,
You think so? My dog will bark if he's out in the house. But then if I
Okay.
bring him in, he just sleeps the whole
And
time.
close
next
the
to me.
door. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'll
Let's
bring
try
it.
it.
I have two. All right, so I'm like pre-apologies for whatever happens with my dogs.
It
That's
doesn't
okay.
matter.
Dogs are part of your family.
Okay, come on in, guys. Here, get up on my bed, then everybody can see you in the background.
Yeah.
Come here.
Hi. Podcast
Okay.
guest.
Yeah. All right, we'll see how they do.
Lee, will you tell us a little about yourself?
Okay, let's see. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and a bunch of my family are kind of from there in the last, last, not maybe almost century. I have a brother and my parents, and when I was about 4 years old, I moved to Atlanta for a year with my dad with his work. And we had come out to California when I was 4 or 5 years old for my uncle and aunt's wedding, and my parents really liked it out here. And so my dad ended up arranging for a job in San Francisco, and we moved to the San Francisco Bay Area in 1974 when I was 6 years old, which is a long time ago.
Not so
That long ago.
I mean, for me, not, but maybe for Lex, probably for you. But anyway, I was
Why
brought
she
up
like
very,
that?
very happily in the Bay Area with my brother, had a beautiful childhood, graduated from high school there. My dad is a commercial banker, and he ended up getting transferred out to the San Joaquin Valley to Lodi. And right after I graduated high school, which I was not happy about, my parents moved out there. And so I followed shortly, and then kind of in and out of colleges, which is part of my story, and up and down California's coast. And I finally settled in San Diego after college with my best friend. And I soon found out that I lived around the corner from all of the deep sea divers, the Navy divers in San Diego. And it's a place called Pacific Beach that a lot of people live there in their 20s, very fun area. And we lived around the corner from these super hot divers. And became friends
Is
with
that
them.
was that the vernacular in the apartment? Is, oh, the super hot divers are out.
Oh, they were so hot. They were so hot with their little UDT shorts and their combat boots. We used to run home from work and watch them get home from the base. Yeah. And anyways, as the story goes, I guess I got my meat hooks into Aaron. And we started dating and just kind of never left each other's side after that. We became serious really fast and got engaged after 10 months. And I think, Gibby, I met you about a year in when we moved to
You did. That was
Waukegan.
right before,
in-
yep.
Yeah, it
Right
was
before you got
January
married.
of 95. Yeah, January of 95. And Lex, you probably don't remember this, but I met you when you were a very little girl. You and Courtney. And I don't know, everything after that was moving to Virginia Beach, which we all did, and had my kids in Virginia Beach. And then eventually, when my kids were 3 and 5, Aaron and I made the decision to move back to California to be by family. And for the last, I think it was 3 or 4 years of Aaron's military career, so that we could end up back on the West Coast. So,
Wow.
yes.
And
so
you've been there
moved-
since.
Yeah, we did. I should have added, we moved back to Lodi where my parents had settled, where I said, when I was 18, I said I would never, ever live here. And then,
Land there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it was like the greatest place to raise our kids ever.
Really?
And
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's like kind of a, it's kind of a nice small town environment, rival high school, everybody knew my kids' names, nobody could get away with too much where we lived. The kids could walk to school. I really appreciated raising my kids here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I think Lex was probably 3 or
When I met you in 95, how old were you
Yeah.
in 95?
3.
I met you right.
Yes.
Yeah, I met you right away. I met you. I mean, I'm going to say a couple months, and Aaron and Gibby, I used to call them work girlfriends.
oh my
Really?
gosh,
I didn't
yes.
know that.
Your girlfriend's on the phone.
Your work girlfriend. I think did you guys used to drive to work together, Gibby?
Occasionally, and
Yeah.
That's so
we went
lovely.
on,
It was.
and we all went on trips together.
We
Me
did.
and
We
Aaron,
did.
we had a trip or two, and we
Cool.
behaved.
I think
Not,
to Florida. I think we went down to Key West, and then I
I
think
don't
one
think we
time.
did. We definitely did.
Okay, we did. I know we did.
We burned down Duval Street once,
I think we did. I think we
twice or
did.
three times.
And yeah. And then I think, Lex, I think your mom and I also flew down, if I remember correctly, to maybe South Beach to meet you guys. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, yeah.
Or,
And then
or maybe that was all the same trip.
I thought
Hard to,
I can't remember that. That's
it was a
a
long
memory.
I
time
didn't know
ago.
about
It was
that. How
like
fun.
30 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. So, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should include what else I should include, but that's
You can
kind
include
of,
anything you want.
that's geographically me, I guess I should say.
That's great. I love
Yeah.
that.
Lee,
Yes.
tell us something that you are grateful for these days.
Well, I really, this is a sounds like a simple question, but I really thought about it. And of course, I have two boys, and of course, you would imagine that I would say that I'm most grateful for my boys, and yes, I am in the biggest sense of the word. But I think when I was really getting down to the bottom of it, I think I'm mostly grateful for my marriage. And the reason why I would say that is that I don't think that everything else in my life would be going as well if my marriage wasn't as
Yeah.
strong as it is. And when I say strong, we've worked at it, it's evolved, I think it's the cornerstone for why things are going very well with my kids, with my relationships with people. I think it all comes down to that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, we got married when I was probably, I think I was 27. And you're young when you're 27, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a crapshoot, and and you're I would say it's a combination of luck and hard work if you manage to evolve together.
I
And
think that's a great formula.
yeah, yeah, and I think there's the old adage, people say, should everybody give 50%? No, everybody should be giving 100%. But I think the reality is that everybody needs to be giving 100%, but there's different times where people are giving a little more, giving a little less based on circumstances. And so it's hard to maintain that marriage. And our kids are now out of the house, and that's another time in your life where you find out, do you like each other? Have you evolved together? Did this work? And Aaron and I really, I think our marriage is even at another, like a higher level now, that we just have each other to rely on. Mm-hmm. And my family, I'm Jewish, and Aaron, actually it was because of Aaron that we committed to having a Jewish family. I remember him telling me, I don't care what it is that we do, but I want consistency for our kids. And my family's, very Jewish, and we decided to raise our kids that way, and they can do whatever they want, but this is how we raised our kids. And we had a Jewish wedding ceremony with a rabbi, and there's a tradition in the Jewish ceremony where at the end of all of the vows and everything that's said, the last thing that you do is you step on a glass. And people have seen it in movies and things, and you step on the glass. It's covered in a napkin, and everybody yells Mazel Tov at the end, which
Mazel
is
tov.
Congratulations, but one of the things that really, I think maybe the thing that stuck with me most about our wedding vows was the rabbi explains when you step on the glass, it has a lot of meanings. One of them is, religious meanings, like it symbolizes the destruction of the temple, thousands of years ago. But the symbol that I really took to heart was it also symbolizes the fragility of marriage. And that once you break that glass, you can't put glass back together. And I think that's something that Aaron and I have talked about that a lot of times in our marriage. And not that we're breaking the glass, but just, to keep that in mind, that. And so for me, that's why I say that that's the most significant thing. That's the cornerstone for everything else in our lives.
Absolutely. That is no small feat. Holy moly. It sounds like you and Aaron have put a lot of intentional work into cultivating that as time goes on and working through different transitions together throughout your marriage. And I'm so happy to hear that it is going so well right now.
Oh,
awesome.
thank you. I think transition is like the best word that that's the heart. That's it's the working through the transitions is the smartest
Yeah.
expression for that. Yes,
Well,
I
because
agree.
you've got great systems, and then suddenly those systems don't work the same way anymore when all of the
Yeah.
conditions change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I hope the same for my marriage as we go throughout the
Me
years.
too. Me too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about something that is going unexpectedly well for you right now?
Well, it wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about my kids.
Of course.
I guess I wouldn't be any parent without talking about their kids, but I
Good
am
parent.
so unbelievably gratified by how well my kids are doing. I'm so grateful for the men that they grew up to be, and they're in very good places right now, and it's like a joy to watch them, and they have such good character and values, and they are hard workers, and we worked really hard. Of course, we made like a gazillion mistakes, but we worked really hard to have them grow up to be upstanding citizens. I hope that's what we are, our hope, but you can never force that to happen. And one of the things that I think I'm the most grateful for and that I admire the most about them is that, I pushed them really hard when they were in high school and growing up, and we expected a lot out of them as far as their character and their behavior and their performance, and but everything that they have right now and everything that they've done right now as men, they have achieved by themselves. And I definitely think they have the luxury of having had a nice upbringing, but they put all of that into practice on their own. They got themselves through college. They have successful relationships and friendships, and they both have jobs that they each got 100% on their own and are doing very well at their careers. And I think that they both feel pretty good about themselves and have very nice lives. So that is something that gives me a lot of peace.
Definitely. I can't even imagine. My kids are 2 and 4, so we have a ways to go. But the
Yeah.
idea of having that later
Goes
in
fast.
life,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that is a dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that when they were growing up, that I definitely think that one of the keys was even though, it's sometimes you just want to go hide, but we definitely did not let our guard down the whole time. That was the hardest thing to do. Was I mean, I consider them, they're my friends, but when they were growing up, we were parents, and it was hard. It was hard to not let your guard down and, okay, fine, just go do it, or fine, don't do your assignment. And they were not very happy with me sometimes, or even often but
During certain times, yeah.
I hope that I feel like they trust that we have their best interest in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So, but they're fantastic human beings. So,
Ah, well,
yeah.
congratulations to your sons. That is so wonderful to hear.
Thanks.
Why don't you tell us about a time that you failed at something, but ended up gaining much more than you expected from it? And now, looking back, you feel grateful for that experience.
So I was a bit of a wild child growing up, and I really, as we always say, paved the way for my younger brother to be able to get away with a lot more because
Really?
my parents had already seen it with me. I was wild. I was not performing at school. All I cared about was having fun. Like I
I
wasn't
can hear
even
your dad right now. Where did we go wrong with this one?
Oh my gosh. My mom, my dad, everybody. I was a delight. I was not like mean or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just was, all I wanted to do was wake up every day and wring all the fun that I could out of it.
There you
and
go.
sometimes that doesn't do
Yeah.
very well you know,
Certain
scholastically.
circumstances, yeah.
Well, and the funny part was, it's like my friends who all did extremely well in school probably had like 5 minutes less fun than I did. And I definitely was like a day by day person. And so when a time came to go to college, and you know, all my friends were going to these fantastic places, and I just barely crossed the finish line in high school. And I don't know, ended up going to community college, and I think I just sort of didn't do very well there. And then my parents decided, well, what if I went to school down in Santa Barbara at the city college down there? And I stayed with my best friend for a year from high school, and she was going to UCSB. And I think I just didn't even go to the last 6 weeks of school there, because you know what? Santa Barbara's super fun, and I just could not be bothered going to school.
Well, especially in late spring, early summer.
Oh my, it was the best. It was like the best place I'd ever been. And then my dad called me and said, I see you've chosen to come home, and yanked me back to Lodi. And I ended up having a boyfriend who was quite successful. He had come to this country from Greece, taught himself English, and simultaneously got himself into an engineering program, and was going to be going to school at the end of the year. And it kind of, I know he was great. And it kind of freaked me out. All of a sudden, I think I probably had a combination of getting to the right age, and all of a sudden realizing he's going to leave. And then my parents kind of washing their hands of me, which was the best thing that they could have ever done, ever. All of a sudden, I think I looked around, and it was kind of all up to me. Nobody was bugging me. I think I got scared. I remember I took like 18 units. I was working. Wow. I started doing really well, and I was able to transfer to college on academic probation. And I finally got into college, and I think I threw a dart at the course catalog and found something creative, and I was like, oh, interior design sounds fun. And I ended up doing extremely well in college. I ended up getting a degree in commercial interior design, and had a career in that field for 10 years that I ended up being fairly good at.
Successful, yeah.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
It was fun. It was great. It was a fantastic career. When we all were in Virginia Beach, I worked at a fairly prominent architecture firm, and, you know, worked on embassies, worked on town centers. It was incredible. But I think I just had to do it for myself, which is something I kind of took to for my kids. I needed to be mature enough to handle it. And I guess I don't know. It was failure, and it turned into an inadvertent success.
Wow. I love this story. A thing that we hear a lot is that people wish they could experience that success earlier to have the benefits from the success longer.
Sure.
But you can't jump to that place. You have to go through the journey to get there, and that's not bad. You know?
You have to be ready to receive it. And I don't think I was ready to receive it until,
a little later.
A little later. Yeah.
So that realization that you kind of needed to switch, or not switch directions, like find a direction.
Yeah.
Was that like a light switch kind of thing, or is that like a slow, gradual?
I think it was. I think I started having anxiety, like the kind of anxiety that's good because it creates some sort of action. Yeah. I think that I realized I'm going to be left behind. What do I really want?
Yeah.
And I think that when I started doing well in school, you know, having a little bit of success, and all I needed to do was what my dad always said, just apply yourself a little bit. Just a little. Yeah. And so I think just having little bits of success, a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit. And then I learned what it felt like to work a little bit harder. And then I would work harder and harder. And now I'm really the opposite. I'm the most opposite person.
Really?
So yeah.
How?
I'm extremely organized. I am going to do a good job if it kills me. I like to be prepared. You should have seen, I was like, you know, they have it like the tiger moms. I was like a dragon mom, you know? And my kids are like, why can't we get away with anything? And I'm like, because I've already done it.
I've done that.
I've done it. I've done it. Yeah. Yeah. But with, just with work and my business and, I'm extremely organized and prepared. Aaron calls me, I'm a Boy Scout is what he calls me.
Oh, that is
The
so
Boy
funny.
Scout.
Always be prepared. Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. I think I just matured.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, tell us
Yes.
about a magical memory you have from the past that you got to experience.
Okay. This is something that I was really trying to remember and think about. And I call it, I would say a magical / surreal moment, I think was, first of all, you have to understand, I'm not particularly spiritual. I think maybe I am on the inside, but I'm not one who's looking for things. I'm satisfied that I'm going to find out whatever's going to happen at the end of the story, And I've barely told anybody this. I think I've told Aaron the story. I'm not sure if I've told
All
anybody else
right.
this
So you're
story.
telling everybody now.
Oh, I'm going big. So for my third career, my third chapter, I have a delivery business, a small delivery business that I've had since 2011. And it's our business, but it's kind of my day-to-day running of it. Mm-hmm. And we just do local stuff. But we for 10 years, we had a contract at Christmas time with FedEx where we do what's called overflow delivery. They hire us to help them get all of the big volume of packages out. And so every Christmas I'd hire a big team of people and we would kind of like locally, like several locations deliver. And it's a big, frenetic, crazy time period. It's usually about 3 weeks. And I mean, Aaron would take over the kids, Aaron would take over everything, and I would 24/7 be running.
It's a 3-week sprint. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a sprint, and I was like, it's got a beginning, it's got an end. We can do this, very, very lucrative, very exciting time. And when I first did it, I always felt like, lead by example. I'm going to take one of the routes, which after a couple years, I realized I just need to be managing this because that's a whole other podcast. Things that can happen.
Oh.
I was taking a route that was kind of close to home and I was just trying to absorb some of the deliveries. And I was kind of in the country. And it was like kind of early days of using your phone to navigate. And I had to deliver this package and I pulled up to this property kind of on the outskirts of town, probably a 2 or 3 acre parcel. Very rough looking, very, very old house. There's this kind of beat up yard, these old fruit trees. And I pulled up with the package and out in the yard is this kind of a folding table with this person sitting there. And the closer I got, I realized I actually I couldn't tell if it was a male or a female. It was this very, very ancient human being with this long white hair. And he looked like they were, I would say, like Native American person sitting at this table. And they appeared to be like beading, like little seed beads, beading stuff, things. Mm-hmm. I wasn't that close. And I walked up and I kind of getting closer and I was like, FedEx, got my package. And the person kind of gestured to the front door. And I mean, there's not even concrete. I'm walking over like this rough ground at this dilapidated house. And I put this package down. And so the rule was if somebody was there, you needed to have them sign for it if you could. Mm-hmm. So I kind of asked them to sign it and they beckoned me over to the table, signed it, and they just smiling up in my face as I was about to leave, they gestured for me to come over to them. And I walked over and this person put their hand, like bent over, put their hands like on the top of my head, tiny person. So I bent over on top of my head and started, I would say, giving me a blessing in singing and giving me a blessing of some sort.
Wow.
Not in English. And
not expected.
I was not expecting this. And I was kind of frozen, but I just kind of sat there and I, let him do it. And then at the end, they handed me a little beaded dragonfly.
Wow.
I said, thank you so much. And, kind of, I don't know if I bowed my head. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but just
Yeah.
thanked them. But it was one of those moments where, do you ever have something happen where it happened a long time ago, but you can almost like see the paint on the walls and you can smell the
Yeah.
smells. And it's just I just remember that moment. The sun coming through the trees. Like I just kind of felt frozen in time when it happened. And I just felt like something spiritual happened. And
Absolutely.
it wasn't even in English. And to this day, I have that dragonfly in every car that I've had since then. It's always up
Wow.
in a little part of my car. I'm not even superstitious. I always remember
Wow.
it. I felt like it was a special moment.
It was magical.
More
Yeah.
than a special moment, kind of a defining moment,
Yeah.
especially if you've carried that with you for so long. And what's crazy about this story is that you were not looking for this at all.
No.
It just,
I was delivering.
just showed up.
I was delivering packages.
That's amazing.
And it was really. It's a really crazy. I wish I could explain to you how crazy it is when we were going through that every year, and it almost kind of like took me out of it for a minute.
Yeah.
And it calmed me down a little bit. So maybe
Totally.
I needed to feel that at that moment.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have a whole bunch of those.
Those types
Yeah.
of moments all the time.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
moment of clarity.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I was wondering this earlier on in the conversation. So I'm excited that you have selected this as something to talk about.
Okay.
What's your best advice on how to solve problems or overcome obstacles?
Okay. I kind of like learned this from, I think I made the realization that this is what is the best for me is I use the word marinate. So when you have a problem, something you're trying to solve, something you're trying to decide, and I always use the word marinate, and I'm always do things fast, make a decision,
too.
yeah. And sometimes you have to slow your roll a little bit and let it marinate. And what I do is that I found for me is driving in the car by myself or going on a walk by myself is when I have something marinating, and sometimes I find out that what I think is bugging me isn't even the problem. It's like when I get down to what the problem is, and I think Aaron always uses the expression, like when you're in the weeds, he uses that expression a lot, and I think that relates. Sometimes I have so much rolling around in my head. And I think I think something's bugging me, but it's really something else. And so
sense.
for me, yeah. So it's kind of in general advice, but I try to make myself marinate on, and I feel like my subconscious is gonna give me the answer, and I most often find that out when I'm driving around by myself or when I'm walking. That's me. Everybody probably has something different,
I think that
that they're
is
doing,
incredible
but-
advice. And like you said, it's very general advice. It might seem very
Yes.
simple, but that can be life-changing.
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
most things could be resolved through a drive or a walk by yourself.
For me, that's when I'm like, okay, what are you really worrying about right now? Yeah.
I love how you both have your expressions that you use all the time.
Yeah.
The marinating thing, as soon as you said that, I was like, because Lee likes to cook, you're really good at cooking. That's what Aaron said.
That's good memory. Yes, I do. I love cooking. That's a very good point. Yes, you got to put that meat in the refrigerator for a while.
and just step away for a little bit.
Step away. Yeah, I guess that would be my number one advice for myself. And I guess I mean I have one other thing that I was trying to think, like what's a Lee thing, but I don't know if this is good advice or not. But I think it's it's a code for how I try to live my life. Is I really try hard. You meet a lot of people. We do a lot. Aaron and I are very social, and I try really hard in my life that everybody I meet starts at a 10. And
I like it.
but then maybe that's stupid. Maybe everybody should start at a 5. But for me, I just can't help it. I think I get this from my dad. Is is I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt that I'm going to like them. They're going to be my best friend. And you started a 10 with me. So I think
love
that would be
that.
my other advice.
I wish
Yeah.
I would do that.
I think people rise to expectations.
Yeah.
So I think it helps me meet
Yes.
people. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to come into a situation expecting a 5, then they're going to
Yeah.
act a 5. If you are coming
true.
in expecting a 10, they're going to bring their 10.
That is, I never thought about it like that. That's very true.
That's such
Yeah.
smart advice.
So both in general pieces of advice, but
I love
think
it.
that's, yeah.
Start him out as a 10. I like it.
And let it marinate.
Yeah. Let it
That's
marinate.
so good. Thanks for sharing that. I'm going to always remember that.
Okay.
Well, we just adored having you on the podcast. It's so
Thank
much
you.
fun. Obviously, we're going to
Already
have to have you
time
back
over?
for some more stories. Yes. Yeah, we went
Yikes.
through our question. I know. But let me just say that Gibby and I really appreciate the thought and the consideration that you put in behind the questions, selecting things that mean a lot to you. You talked about your marriage. You talked about your kids. You talked about your personal life and your successes and the challenges that you went through, and you've told us about a little snippet of an experience that has really meant a lot to you, and then left us with some awesome advice. I mean, just such a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
That was how it's
Thank
supposed to
you.
flow.
Thank you. And before we go, I also want to say it's been, Gibby, we've known each other for, I think 31 years.
31
And
years.
Lex, whether you know it or not, I've known you for that long too. And it's,
Yeah.
it's just such an honor to know you guys. And I just think this is such a cool thing that you guys are doing together and such a positive thing. I really enjoyed the show. And I would like to say mazel tov on your success.
Yay!
Ew.
That's our first Mazel Tov.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks so much,
I think
Lee.
that might be my very first Mazel Tov ever.
Okay, I'll make sure I say some more of them to you in the future.
All right. Very cool.
Can you just throw those around whenever you feel like it?
You can throw them around. You can
Okay.
always throw those around. It's a
Oh.
yeah. It's a congratulations.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yes. I'll
right.
next time we talk, I'll give you my compendium of Yiddish terms, and you can throw them all around.
Sweet.
Yes.
I'll bring a notepad. Thanks, Lee. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Lee.
Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too.
Oh man, that was so fun. And for the listeners, we had Leon for an extra few minutes at the end of our chat and got to hear a few more stories that we wished that we had hit record on, but just such a lovely time to spend with Lee this morning.
Yeah, Lee and Aaron are family. Great questions that
Yeah.
she fielded, and I love the one that she left us with.
Oh, the best advice. Let it
Best
marinate.
advice. Let it marinate.
Thanks so much, Lee. I mean, we exactly what we were expecting. Just a wonderful time with an old friend and gaining some new insight on you as a person and some cool takeaways for how to live life. All right, well, that concludes another episode of Porch Swing People.
Thank you for listening to us, and tune in for the next one. Porch Swing People, out. Porch Swing People is recorded and produced by Lex and Gibby. Opening music was written and produced by Michael Gibson. Porch Swing People is a podcast featuring everyday people. If interested in being a guest, email us at porchswingpeeps@gmail.com.